Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I don't make a lot of videos, but I'm gonna try to make more because I'm on vacation right now, so I might have the time. Anyways, today's video is like the title and thumbnail suggest. What if Naruto became the Hokage early? Part 1. So, what is gonna happen in this uh, what if is simply what I thought would happen, what I still think would happen if Naruto became Hokage early. So first, we need to, you know, figure out how will he become Hokage earlier. So he will become Hokage simply because he trained harder and more during the 2 years with Jiraiya. That way, when he comes back, he's stronger. He hasn't learned his Sage Mode yet, but he's like halfway through. So he also learned Wind Chakra because when Naruto came back from the 2 years, he was not that much stronger. It was mainly Sakura and Sasuke that have a power up, but Naruto doesn't have a real huge power up. So I think he's gonna train more into his own strength and less about, controlling Kurama's chakra, which means that he never went four-tailed. Anyways, he comes back to the village and starts the arc to go and find Gaara. Now everything would happen the same except that he wouldn't go like he wouldn't start transforming against Deidara. He would simply hold him off and almost kill him. At Deidara was about to use his strongest jutsu, but he decided it wasn't the right time and just pretended he exploded and ran away. So Naruto think that he might be dead, and then he says, well, he's probably not. So I mean, he figures out that he's alive, but couldn't catch him. So when he comes back to the village, Tsunade is surprised to see that Naruto went toe to toe and actually beat a Akatsuki member. He didn't kill him, but he won the fight since, the other one ran away, so he technically won the fight against an Akatsuki member who's supposed and who actually did beat the Kage, sorry, who he Deidara beat the Kazekage, which means that Deidara is easily Kage level, and Naruto beat Deidara, which means that Naruto is stronger than the Kazekage, and or strong as strong as a Kage needs to be. So, in terms of strength, he has it. He's been learning a lot of theoretical stuff during his training, and with a bit more of training, he can become Hokage. So Tsunade decides to make Anbu members train Naruto into the art of being smarter. So he learns all of the stuff you need to learn before you become Hokage. He becomes Hokage right after that. Naruto is um, is now Hokage, but he's the youngest Hokage ever. He's 15 years old. He's Hokage. His power is comparable to the one he has just around the pain arc without his Sage Mode. So Naruto without Sage Mode. Except that he doesn't have the Rasen Shuriken. He trained with Kakashi a bit just before becoming Hokage, and he decided to leave Shadow Clones to do paperwork. So Shadow Clones do paperwork, and team assignments and everything a Hokage needs to do. And then him, like the actual him, trains to do other things. So to know important stuff, shadow clones. He leaves around 10 shadow clones in his office, and does work, does everything, and and they one by one, whenever something important happens or an important message, his shadow clone puffs, and then Naruto regains memory of the shadow clone. That way he's aware and he knows everything that happened. So he would go on like this and train and create the Rasen Shuriken, and he would also, after that, leave some shadow clones, some perfected shadow clones, and would go to learn Sage Mode. He would learn it in only 6 months, since the real him learned it in 1 year in the canon timeline, and he already knows half of the training, like I said earlier. So Naruto is learning Sage Mode. 6 months later, he finishes learning Sage Mode. At least that's what he planned, except that something important came up. Naruto figures out and learns that they found a way to speak with Orochimaru. Naruto would go to speak to Orochimaru and, the retrieve Sasuke. He would send a team and not go himself. At least that's what he told the people. Because, he had a secret plan. So he sent a team composed of Sakura, a couple of Anbu members, actually 2 of them, and Shikamaru. Shikamaru went on this because he's really smart. He knows, and he figured out that if Naruto is not going himself, it's because he has something else, but he's gonna be involved. Just like he's gonna surprise everyone. So he just pretends nothing happens. They plan to do the same thing they do in usual, and they go. He meets Kabuto, and Orochimaru comes out. The fight is about to start. Then, out of nowhere, Naruto appears between Kabuto and Orochimaru, and puts, with a shadow clone, and puts a Rasengan in each one of the back, and then both of the Narutos disappear in smoke. The Orochimaru and Kabuto barely have the time to get up that Shikamaru used his shadow restraint technique jutsu and stopped them from moving. Sakura then punches both of them and almost breaks the bridge. Then Orochimaru smiles and disappears. He turns into mud. He was a mud clone. Kabuto is out cold. He's basically bleeding. The real Orochimaru comes out and starts fighting the teams. Orochimaru and them fight for a while. Naruto, who's far away around, training for Sage Mode, finally completed it. And actually faster than what he planned, since he can now train with over 100 clones at the same time. So Naruto can maintain Sage Mode and, make it faster than in the original timeline. His technique is to make clones that take nature chakra and then disappear, and Naruto gains their nature chakra. So Naruto keeps on doing it until the shadow clones disappear, the ones that attack Orochimaru. Naruto, finally aware of the whole situation, since all of his Kage clones are like away. Naruto then uses his inverted, what do you call it? Inverted summoning jutsu, and goes directly to his office, the Hokage's office. He creates a couple of shadow clones, then uses his newest technique, the flying Raijin, like a seal, I guess. It's a seal, but it's also a jutsu. The flying Raijin, or the flying thunder god. He he had marked, he used marked kunais of his father. And also, he also used marked people. And he didn't mark anyone except for his own shadow clones. And he still had one shadow clone next to Orochimaru. He uses Flan Raijin and teleports directly to the Orochimaru fight. He doesn't use Sage Mode since, he's not proficient in it. It's an incomplete Sage Mode like Jiraiya, even though in Sage Mode he would be strong enough, with the toads, but he can't complete Sage Mode with the toads because simply of, you guessed it, Kurama. So Naruto appears, uh, like, next to them, but they don't know it yet. Naruto then activates his incomplete Sage Mode, which is basically Sage Mode, but he can only make like one Rasen Shuriken or 2 minutes. He makes two Shadow Clones that take a huge amount of time to absorb nature energy. So Naruto takes this time to send a kunai, like make Shadow Clone. Shadow Clone goes with a marked kunai, throw the kunai at Orochimaru. Orochimaru recognizes the kunai, and then he says, no, he's dead, thinking of Minato. And then Naruto appears with a Rasen Shuriken in his hand. And he's just like at two meters away of Orochimaru. Naruto then launches his Rasen Shuriken to Orochimaru. Then he throws his kunai like down the bridge, like I don't know, anywhere else, and teleports to where the kunai is to avoid the explosion. Then everyone look at Naruto, surprised of the jutsu, both of them. The first he can launch Rasen Shuriken. They knew of this technique because they saw him train, but they never knew he can launch it. Last time he used this, he broke his arm into 1,000,000 pieces. And then they see his eyes, Sage Mode, and they're like, what the hell is that? He says, I'll explain later. Then he disappears again, showing up over Orochimaru. He had left a kunai falling from the sky. He then uses Rasengan, normal Rasengan, to hit Orochimaru, who's already like beaten up. Then he starts fighting Orochimaru in 1v1. Kabuto is already knocked out from the Rasengan and the punch of Sakura. Thanks to Naruto's overwhelming strength, and the rest of the team, they managed to make Orochimaru retreat. Even though the two Anbu members were wounded, but Naruto told them to go back to Konoha to get healed. And then Sakura looked at Naruto with a crazy face like, don't you trust me? And he looked at her and he said sorry. So she healed them up. But then he whispered in their ears and they disappeared. Naruto used his flying Raijin technique because he left a seal, a mark of flying Raijin on both Kabuto and Orochimaru. That way, he can go directly to them. Then he uses flying Raijin and teleports Shikamaru and Sakura with him next to Orochimaru. Orochimaru is surprised to see them. He's currently at his lookout. Then Naruto puts Orochimaru under Genjutsu very fast. But it's not a very strong Genjutsu, but it buys him enough time to run out of the room. Then Orochimaru sees that he's gone, and since Genjutsu has been used on him, he thinks he might have been under Genjutsu since the fight, and he thinks that they're not here. Naruto and his team go to find Sasuke. They found Sasuke in a room. Sasuke then disappears and appears right next to Sakura. He knocks her out by putting her under Genjutsu, thanks to his third Tomo Sharingan. Shikamaru, before he can even do the hand seal to create his jutsu, to do his jutsu, he is knocked down by Sasuke's sword, like the not cutting part. Then he goes towards Naruto, but surprisingly, Naruto disappeared and actually created two shadow clones before disappearing. The shadow clones teleported away Sakura and Shikamaru. Naruto then appears over Sasuke and hits him with her Rasengan. Sasuke barely blocks with his sword and then goes away. They start to fight. Naruto and Sasuke have a fight. They fight pretty equally. Then Naruto's shadow clone that he left at the base disappears. Naruto activates Sage Mode. It's imperfect, but it's still Sage Mode. Activates Sage Mode. He creates two shadow clones. Creates a Rasen Shuriken, and then two more shadow clones. And creates two Rasen Shuriken. Throws both of them at Sasuke. Sasuke uses the giant dragon of lightning, and their power clashes. Sasuke is almost unconscious. Naruto is knocked out, but not really. I mean, he's barely holding on. He's almost falling asleep. Then Naruto, by the force of his will, starts go up on a leg and using Flying Raijin for the last time, and teleports next to Sasuke, and is about to use Rasengan to knock him out. Then Orochimaru appears and kicks Naruto in the face. Naruto and Sasuke are surprised to see Orochimaru. Naruto is too weak to fight both of them at the same time. And he's weakened down, and even in his normal state he can hold them off, but only one at a time, and he's not even sure to beat them because he's never finished a fight yet. Then Naruto uses Flying Raijin and goes back to the Hokage's office, where he left Sakura and Shikamaru. The Anbu members he left earlier were already at Konoha, thanks to body flicker or some kind of teleportation jutsu. And Naruto is needs to get help. So Tsunade is a medical ninja, so she heals all of them. Naruto creates a bunch of shadow clones and goes back to his training in the mountain with to train Sage Mode. He finishes to learn Sage Mode just before the next arc, which is so now it's time for the Guardians of the Daimyo, I think it said like that, the 12 Guardians arc, which goes rather the same as in canon timeline, except that um, the kid never comes back to Konoha, never goes to Konoha, and just keeps on doing what he's doing, being alone. And the people that were attacking villages got stopped by Naruto and Kakashi and Sakura. They just, they take care of him, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing special. The the only difference is in this timeline when Hidan and Kakuzu, fights Asuma and all of that. Um, Naruto, um, at that point had left marks like thunder gun marks on pretty much every uh, chunin and chunin and jonin, which means that when he felt, because he augmented his sensing abilities, of being half Uzumaki. Anyways, what I was about to say, yes. So he teleported to where Asuma was about to die, not yet, and he saw that Hidan was about to kill himself, and he thought that if Hidan was about to kill himself, it might be that he's killing someone else by killing himself, and he like uh like goes into sage mode, since now he perfected it thanks to a shadow clone that is he always has a perpetual, I think, like he always has a shadow clone absorbing nature chakra. That way, whenever he gets into a fight, he can easily go sage mode. So yeah, he's really using shadow clones to the max. Um, so he turns sage mode, reacts fast enough, and actually you like take puts her a sengan and breaks the weapon that Hidan was about to use to kill himself. Then he just knocks Hidan out by putting him under a genjutsu. Not a strong one, just a normal genjutsu. But since he's a Hokage, a not strong one for him is still a high level genjutsu. Then um, Asuma would be like really fatally injured. Kakuzu would just like be ready to fight Naruto. Naruto would be like, no need to fight right now, and he tells him to take his friend and leave. And Kakuzu says that the last time he fought Konoha and ninjas, it was the first Hokage. Then Naruto said, well, you're gonna lose to Hokage again. Then he just took Asuma and the other ninjas and left back to Konoha, like using Flying Raijin. And Kakuzu was intrigued to see that Naruto didn't attack him. Then, a few moments later, a couple of hours later, Hidan and Kakuzu were healed and they were back, chasing after whatever they were doing. And suddenly Naruto appears. He had left a seal on Hidan. That's why he didn't kill him, because if he did anything to Hidan, Naruto didn't have the chance to touch Kakuzu, so it was his plan. Even though he wasn't sure, since he had planned to do something like that if if when before the team's event went, because he told them to fight Akatsuki members, so he kind of planned this shit. Anyways, Naruto would then use Flame Raijin and appear right next to to Hidan, who was about to go get a new weapon. Then he would simply use a new jutsu he has created. It's a special jutsu. It's a secret jutsu, really strong jutsu. It's a sealing jutsu, gravity seal times 10. It's a gravity seal. You do the hand signs and you slam the two hands on the person that is gonna get sealed. All you need is a bit of their blood, which Naruto had on his finger since, well, he touched the weapon with Eden blood, and he kept the blood specially for that. Sorry if my voice changed. Anyways, he used the gravity seal and hit Hidan with it. Hidan was like was crumbling under pressure, like to him, to his whole body, the gravity has been increased by 10. And then Naruto, just by doing one hand sign, the ox one, could control the gravity. And each sign he made would augment it by 1. Naruto would then proceed to do a lot of hand signs. Still, while, like, for the next 6 minutes of the jutsu activated, he needed to make it stronger. There was a combination which was horse, ox, snake, monkey, boar. So he had to keep on doing this again and again, and he kept those hand signs. And each time he did one hand sign, the gravity would be increased, which at the end would completely destroy Hidan's body. And then Naruto would just use a Rasen Shuriken to make a Rasen Shuriken and throw it at Kakuzu. And Kakuzu would survive the Rasen Shuriken, but barely. He had only one heart left. He was about to get up, but then is hit by another Rasengan in his last heart. And Naruto beat both of the Akatsuki members. So Naruto then makes a huge hole in the ground and puts both of their bodies in it, and then seals the ground. That way, their body is never gonna get out, because he doesn't know that Hidan or Kakuzu might, come back to life or something because of their special abilities. Naruto, at this point in time, had beaten already 2 Akatsuki members, killed them, and beaten Deidara, which means that Toby actually took him as a bigger threat. That's why the next arc is Jiraiya going to find Pain. Naruto would ask Jiraiya before he goes to finish his Sage Mode learning. Jiraiya couldn't finish Sage Mode, but he did get a bit better in controlling Sage Mode, and he also got a little bit of new jutsus that Naruto created. Thanks to Naruto's perfection of the Rasengan, Jiraiya also did it because he never thought of it, and created a special Rasengan, a water Rasengan, the oil Rasengan, because he can use oil release. Jiraiya, it's part of fire, I think, or something like that. And basically, he can use oil release and fire release, or I didn't understand exactly, but I'm just gonna make him make like a burning Rasengan, but it's not a Yotan Rasengan, just fire Rasengan. Anyways, Jiraiya is getting ready to go to fight Pain, even though he doesn't know he's gonna fight Pain. And just before he goes, He's a bit stronger than canon. Naruto and Jiraiya make like a pact. If Jiraiya wins if he comes back alive, because Naruto is worried